Welcome back again to the studios of Complete Save Marriages of This Generation Blueprint. Dr. Norman here. And in this coverage, we are covering on the lies that are breaking marriages all over the world. This is just to give some highlight overview, and it will just help you stay with some of these things at the back of your mind. And when you meet with them head on, at least you have some information. And some of these things, you guys there, you are aware, you know all about these things. So, like I've already mentioned, marriage has numerous enemies. And if they don't come from the normal side, the normal side is outside the marriage. If they don't come from outside the two of us, the two of you, that's where the enemies normally come from. That's where they normally come from, the outside into us, and they'll be disturbing us. But I also mentioned that the enemy can cause ourselves to be the enemies of our own marriage if we are not biblical and scriptural in all what we do. Being biblical and scriptural to those who believe in God will help to safeguard and to protect. Will help to safeguard and to protect. And in this coverage, we want to talk about the lie that the devil is using in some marriages to break marriages. And the lie is you either hear a wife or a husband saying or thinking. There's one fun thing with how God has created us. He has not allowed anyone to move the corridors of my mind to know what I'm thinking about. We might be sleeping together in the same bed, but not knowing what is at the corridors of the mind of my wife, not knowing what is at the corridors of the mind of my husband. But only God and the person, they know what is in the what is hanging, what is there in the corridors of their mind. And so we are saying lie number 3 or lie number 5. You hear someone saying, I married the wrong person. I married the wrong person. Many people have told me, for an example, that they are free to divorce because they married an unbeliever. But I always say myself, I am a person, I'm a marriage counselor who, when I'm helping a young man and a young woman to get married, I advise them not to rush into it, not to do things, leaving room for such things like we are learning here, that in the future you will then say, I made a mistake. Marriage is not a thing that needs which is room for mistakes. And I want to say that's why lot of things that sometimes those who love God and follow God, we differ with what the world practices because of some of these things. You hear people saying, I married the wrong person. I married the wrong person. And like I've already said, you hear people saying a lot of things, that they are free, and they say, I'm free because I married the wrong person. Because it is a failure to understand what marriage is from the beginning. If we understand truly what marriage is from the beginning, we would not hold marriage that way. And I thought, when this happens, you hear someone saying, I married an unbeliever. I thought he or she would become a Christian. There are a lot of people that make mistakes, even those who are in the church. They think they can. I know of girls who thought they could preach their own boyfriend and make them to be Christians, and then save them so that they can marry them. Men can do that. They can pretend like they are being saved, because and after they have got you, they indicate that they never loved God on the first place. They were only all doing this to win you. And you hear a person saying, I met the wrong person. I thought he was going to become a Christian, but that didn't happen. I want to know that once we are committed in this. You are there. You remember what Jesus said, that if anyone leaves his own wife to go to be married with another, you cause that woman to commit adultery, and you yourself where you are as well. So we need to get, you hear people say, we need to get a divorce. They recall that they knew it was a mistake. They know from the beginning that we are doing a mistake, and but they married anyway. That's why we say a marriage, a good marriage, it's like a house. A good marriage is like a house, and where it is built matters very much. Where it is built and how it is built. Where it is built and how it is built, and that is very important. Hoping it would, you cannot hope. That's why I tell a lot of young people, marriage is not a thing that the two of you can do privately. You need to do it around a lot of people. I'm not saying even those which are helped. Sometimes even those that are helped, they also get stuck and they have problems here and there. But at least you're crying. It's better off if it is something that you started by your own. And when I mean by your own, you were just there, and that man whom you thought was going to change, that girl whom you thought was going to change, does not change. And when you are crying, people, if they are others, they'll then point to, this is what we were telling you. It's what we were telling. So we are saying it is not correct. It is not right to say, I married the wrong person. I married the wrong person. Others claim that they just married someone who wasn't a good match, someone who wasn't a true soul mate. A wrong start in marriage does not justify another wrong step. I want you to listen to that two times. A wrong beginning in your marriage does not justify another wrong step. And we know that God causes all things to work together for good to those who love God. To those who love God, all things work together for good. If it ends up the two of you being married, I want to believe that's what God has allowed, even it is not a good thing, or even if you are a match, but I haven't heard that someone saying, it's not my match. God tells us not to be poured into the world's mold. Instead, we are to be transformed, and that begins in our minds. We are not supposed to be poured into the form of the world, in how the world does its things, and the world. We are instead to be transformed by the renewing of the word. We are supposed to be transformed by the renewing of the word. And like the word of God says in Romans chapter 12, verse 1 and 2, by doing this, God will give us exactly what we need for our lives. God's will for us is good, acceptable, perfect. Good, acceptable, perfect. When that happens, you are within the parameters of God. So as long as you married someone who is a woman, you married someone who is a man, all these other things, when they come, ask others, they will help you. There is nothing like I married the wrong person. It might be wrong. That's why there's sexism in every marriage. Listen to testimonies in every marriage, even those whom you see like their sister and brother today. When they first stayed together, there was pressured sexism between the two, like two round irons that will squeeze each other until they form a hook of agreement, a hook of a hook of knowing each other. Here's the key for those who are now married. The Bible clearly says, do not divorce, with the exception for extended and repentant sexual immorality. We have heard a lot about divorce if she has been caught in sexual immorality. But sometimes we need to know to what extent, what really has happened to her or to him. God can take even the worst things of life and work them together for good if we will just trust him. So line number 2 the enemy is using to destroy marriages is, I married the wrong person. I married the wrong person. Actually, you are seeing the wrong now. That time you didn't see the wrong. You didn't see the wrong, and I don't think it's coming from the Lord anyway. Something has happened, and I always say, if you are a person who knows God and you love God, this girl or this boy used to cause sleepless nights in your life. Used to cause foodless mornings and afternoons when you think about him or her. And today you stand up and tell us that you married the wrong person. I want to say, if there's something wrong that will have happened to you or have happened to you, and if you have a good pastor, you have good friends who are spirit-filled and they are people of God, it is the right time to rush to them, and they will pray for you to minister deliverance, so that that relationship which was there in the beginning will be back. Like I said, those who want to move fast with this video and MP3 teaching series, the link is just down this video, where you will have all that you might be looking for. And until we meet in the next video, we will close this one.